I'm Chronix from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your WWE Summerslam 2019 review. This happened live in Toronto, Ontario, August 11th, 2019. And I'm not going to step over the fact that during the pre-show, you had Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss taking on the Iconics. I wish this would have been on the pay-per-view, but it was not, because I wanted to see the Iconics win the titles back, but that didn't happen. I thought it was going to be a big moment. It wasn't. But Alexa Bliss, by the way, with her ring gear inspired by Buzz Lightyear, I feel a little sexually confused about that whole situation there. But anyways, we get on to the actual SummerSlam show, and we're kicking it off with Becky Lynch as the champion, taking on Natalya. Both of these women coming out in all leather, and I'm like, yes, that's okay with me. They start fighting in and out of the ring. Oh, and Natalya had this like great jacket on that had all these different mirrors, and it was very shiny, and I was like, man, that's so nice. It's basic. It doesn't have all the fancy lights and stuff that people have been having recently with LEDs and everything, but it's like that old school throwback, but also looks very good at the same time, kind of like how Shawn Michaels had his jacket that had the mirrors as well. And something got in my eye, and I think it's gone, because that would be great, because man, I don't think you want to see me squinting this whole time. But as these women are going back and forth in this match, I'm enjoying the crap out of it. But then Natalya, she gets this arm bar, and she's rolling around with Becky, and they end up where Becky's legs are clearly under the rope. I mean, her legs are hanging out of the ring, but the referee does not see this. It just seemed very blatant to me, and I don't know. I guess they should have changed the camera angle. It wasn't like her feet were right in the camera, but I could see it. I was like, why aren't they breaking that? Either way, Becky finally gets that armbar in, which Natalya was doing to her earlier in the match, wrenching back on it. But once Becky had actually got it in, since it's her move, it's way more devastating, because she is an expert at the move, because it's her move. She perfected the move. That's why it's a finisher. And that is why she wins, because Natalya, she taps out to this armbar. And we got Trish Stratus backstage, and it's a quick interview, and Trish, she just looks confident and ready. Like, she's not like, but she's confident. She's like, yeah, I'm a freaking pro, Hall of Famer. But she says that, yeah, Charlotte Flair, she is a queen, but Trish Stratus is the queen of queens, and I can't deny that that is indeed the case. So we're going on to Goldberg and Dolph. Why is this happening so early? Probably because Goldberg wanted to get the heck out of there, get out of Toronto, and go back to Georgia or wherever he's staying these days. But they put it right here. I really honestly thought it would be later in the night, but I think it makes sense why it was here after we see what happens. Dolph comes out there and he starts cutting a promo about how Goldberg's too scared to show up. I'm like, is this what we're doing? This is the match, by the way, that was announced or leaked or whatever. And then later on, they gave a reason as to why the match happened. But he's out there saying, oh, well, Goldberg's not going to show up. Like anybody in that entire arena, and me here at home, believe that for a second. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. Goldberg, trust me, he came out. But I was like, why is Dolph over here wasting time? I made a prediction to myself. I didn't make a video prediction. I wish I would have, because I was 100% sure that this match would go 8 minutes. Because I thought 5 was too short, but let's take a look and see what actually happened. Goldberg makes his entrance, and when the match actually starts, we get a super kick by Dolph, a kick out, another super kick, another kick out. Goldberg hits the spear, then the jackhammer, and Goldberg wins. So you're probably wondering, that sounded really short. Yes, it was about a minute and a half. It was like a minute and 40 seconds. It was something around that. Yes, Goldberg's entrance was longer than his match. I'm pretty sure the promo was longer than the match. And then there was this post-match thing where Dolph is laying in the ring and he's like, you know, you're not a man and I'm here to fight or something. And I'm like, what? Why? So Goldberg comes back down and gives him another spear. I'm not sure if that was longer than the match, that whole after, like the time after the bell towards that last spear between that and the match bell to bell. I don't know. But yeah, all of this was just like short little segments, and I don't know what I expected. I really thought, well, they'll let Dolph have a little offense. I mean, he's not going to clothesline him, but you know, he could probably drop kick him a couple times, get him down to his knees, you know, maybe hit a swinging DDT or something. I don't know, like something. Nah, no, nothing like that. It was just Goldberg's greatest hits. It sucks for Dolph because now he got beat, then he called Goldberg back out, and then he got himself beat again. So I don't know what Dolph does now. I mean, he talked about Shawn Michaels, and then Shawn Michaels kicked him. So now he can't say that the old guys, that he's better than the old guys that are retired because he gets beat by the old guys that are retired. If I was him, I would have loved the fact that I got beat by Goldberg. That is a career highlight that, you know, a lot of people can't say these days. But man, as far as like where you go from there, I don't know. I have given up on a Dolph push for a long time, you know, making him like an actual big deal, because they're not gonna do it. If they were ever gonna do it, they would have done it years ago, and it hasn't happened yet. So I hope things change. But it doesn't look like it's going to anytime soon, and that's sad. Now, yes. Yes, okay. Okay, I already said all that though. Then the New Day, they're backstage and they introduce Drake, Maverick. Done with that. So now we got Ricochet versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles is the US champ. And he's coming out there with the OC. Why is Ricochet dressed up like a knockoff Batman? I don't know. Why is he covering up his whole body when like his body is something that, you know, is impressive? He's got a six-pack and all this kind of jazz, and all of a sudden he's coming out there and he's in a full body suit. It was kind of cool, but at the same time, I don't get it. I don't really get it. It kind of looked like he was going to go surfing. Like if Batman was going to go surfing. You know, because Batman wouldn't go out there in his whole suit. Because, I mean, I know it's carbon fiber and stuff, but, you know, it's probably not that water resistant. I don't know, is it? Because back in, like, the day, it was kind of leathery, but now it's more tactical looking. It seems heavy. It seems like you drowned in it, is what I'm saying. This looked more like a swimming Batman. Like an Aquaman Batman mashup. I don't know very much about comic books, so I probably sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, because I don't. I'm just saying it's weird. Here in this context, Ricochet, he looked kind of weird to me. But the match, it wasn't weird. They had a good match, and of course AJ Styles and Ricochet, come on. Of course it was good stuff, but you got the OC and they're trying to get involved, but Gallows, he ends up getting some moonsault action on the outside, and Ricochet, he tries to get this flippity-doo off the top, but AJ Styles catches this boy in mid-flight, hits that Styles clash, and that's it. And for good measure, the OC, they get that post-match beatdown over there on Ricochet. So poor freaking dude. And AJ Styles, we're just so disappointed in you, man. Why are you being like this? Just rude. Now we get the Street Profits. Now, if you've seen my NXT review, I was talking about this Street Profits and what they did in their match, good stuff. But this is their first SummerSlam, so that's really cool for them to be there. I bet they wish that they were in the show, but they're the NXT champions, and it shows me a lot that WWE would put them out there, you know, because they don't put all the NXT guys on SummerSlam, but they put the Street Profits, and they consistently pop up. So I think that's a great sign for their future and development, that the company, the WWE, they trust them that much to have them out there doing segments like this, where they're talking about SummerSlam, and then here comes out Ric Flair, and they even end it where one with the dudes, I don't think it was Dawkins, but one of them like falls down on the ground, and Ric Flair acts like he's going to do the elbow, and they cut it off at the perfect time. I was just like, oh, see, this is what you should be doing with people like Ric Flair. You know, he can't wrestle anymore, but this is a perfect spot. You got to find the perfect thing for people to do to make it fit. Not everybody needs to go out there and be having Goldberg's matches except for Goldberg. But, and Ric Flair, this seems like the kind of stuff, being like that ambassador or whatever they want to call it. It just seems like, you know, that's good stuff. It's like, you know, when they use the boogeyman. They don't have him going out there doing matches and doing whatever. He does his thing. And it fits. It fits. But man, Ric Flair, he's the man. Woo! Okay. So Ember Moon is taking on Bayley, and I don't know what it was about this match, but I just couldn't get into it. I love Bayley, and I love Ember Moon. I think both of them on their own are really great, but I don't know. It just, the chemistry or something about it, like I could tell that one of them didn't want to be in the match. It was just weird. I got weird vibes off of that match, is what I'm saying. But Bayley, she walks out the champion, and I really don't know what this means for Ember Moon and what they're going to do with her. I don't feel like they've been doing a lot of great stuff with her. She just doesn't seem like that huge deal that I think she should be. She should be intimidating, and when people go against her, they feel like, oh my gosh, he hits that finisher on me, like, man, it's all over for me. But it just kind of seems like she's in matches, and here she is in SummerSlam. So, yeah. Now you got Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens, and if Kevin Owens loses, he has to quit. So, I don't know who could possibly win this match. But then we got Elias as the ref enforcer. So I guess they got the feeling that no one thought that Shane was going to make Kevin Owens quit for real. I mean, of course, they could fire him and then he comes back the next night. But that would be kind of lame, wouldn't it? Anyways, Elias keeps Owens from being that, like, he's the enforcer out there, like. That was the one thing that I just couldn't wrap my head around. I'm like, why is Elias the enforcer? Like, what is the point of that? He's like a one-man lumberjack? Like, just in the context of it, it was just like, what is this the necessary part of it? I don't know. I just don't really get that. Anyways, look, Kevin, he hits his pop-up powerbomb and Elias distracts. And then Kevin decides not to hit Shane. He's got this chair. Like, he's going to hit him. He's going to do all this. But Shane decides that he's going to freaking slap Kevin Owens. And I was like, oh my God. That is brutal. You can't just slap a man like that. Kevin, he's got the chair, and he has to decide whether he wants to retaliate. He's got all this anger. He just got disrespected, but he doesn't want the ref to disqualify him, so he doesn't freaking do it. Elias gets knocked down, and Owens, he hits the senton, the frog splash, but Elias pulls the ref out of the ring. I don't know how that's not a disqualification. Well, I guess because he's a referee too, so referees can't make a match disqualify by referees attacking each other. Maybe that's why they did this? Seems weird. But Owens beats the hell out of Elias, and no disqualification for that? I mean, isn't the enforcer the same credibility as the actual ref? Like if the ref got knocked down, wouldn't the enforcer get in and then make the pin or make the cover? Or, let me cycle through all the words. Wouldn't he do the 1, 2, 3? I don't know. But anyways, man, they don't do that, but you got the kicks to Shane right in the balls, stunner, Kevin Owens wins. And yeah, so Shane McMahon in this match, you know, usually I got a real big problem with him because he's just, why is he in these matches? But this one, the psychology of it, it kind of worked in the context of the match, so I didn't really have a problem with it. It didn't feel like Shane was overpowering him or like he has in other matches or just like way out of his league. I mean, I know he's going in there against a former champion like Kevin Owens, but the point is, it's not as bad as I would classify a lot of the other Shane McMahon antics. So, okay, now we're going on to Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus. Now Trish Stratus, and I know she was at the Royal Rumble and she's done this and that, but to go in there against freaking Charlotte Flair after all these years and to be in a SummerSlam again and be in this like top type situation, you know, it's got to be intimidating for Trish. I mean, she's not, I'm not gonna say she's old, because she's not. She looks great, and she's physically, athletically, man, it is all there, her personality. Look, but it's been some years, so ring rust is a thing. She's going in there and people are expecting her to have a match from like 2004, and we know that that can't happen. And even if she could, people like Charlotte Flair have elevated women's wrestling because of people like Trish laying the groundwork. The next generation of people, they built and they built and they built. Now you got people like Charlotte Flair that are freaking amazing, and going in there against Shane. So, hey, it starts off and they got this face-to-face. It's a stare-off and they tie up. And Charlotte, she's overpowering, but Trish, she comes back. She's got some moves. She's got some punches. She's laying the attack on Charlotte, and they're going face to face. So that was cool. It was like they were still matched up, but clearly Charlotte, being the younger one, is going to be like the more hungry lion type situation where Trish Stratus, you know, she's the queen of the queens, like she said in her promo. They're fighting on the outside, and man, Trish Stratus hits her face on the steps, and it looked like it hurt. It made a sound, and I was like, every time they hit Trish in the face, I'm like, don't mess up her face. It's freaking Trish Stratus. But they get on they're in the middle of the mat, and they start slapping each other. They start chopping each other, and they're on their knees, and they're starting to come up, and it's left and right. They start coming up, and now they're face to face. So that was really cool to see that spot. I don't know, like, to me, that's where some of the intensity started coming into the match, because there was pockets in this match where it just kind of felt dead, and it just kind of felt like it wasn't really working. And I really got to give a lot of credit to Charlotte, because I could see her noticing it and being like, getting fired up and talking smack really loud and slapping Trish around. It's like she was like, oh hell no, these people are not gonna not react to this. And that's when she was calling out Trish, and what did she say? She was talking mess to her. Oh, she was like, this is Trish Stratus, this is Trish Stratus, and everybody's like, oh, what a bitch. So that was really cool, getting them into that. Trish goes for Hurricane Rana, one of her little, you know, in the corner, one of her trademarks over there, but it gets transitioned into a powerbomb that looks like it's going to be brutal as hell, and I thought they were going to go with it, but no. She gets that Hurricane Rana anyways. I think that was kind of a situation where it started to become a botch, but those guys were so professional that they kind of pulled it together and they made it work into something else, which happened a couple times in this match for sure. But the figure 4 to Flair turned into a figure 8, and this is what I really like, is you're showing Trish Stratus's flexibility, which is one of her strengths with all the physical stuff that she's doing nowadays, and doing this figure eight with that perfect arch. It's just, that's what you got to do. You got to accentuate the positives and you got to hide the negatives. Just like Paul Heyman says. It's true. But Trish Stratus, you know, she had shown all of this, but she hits that Stratusfaction, looked a little questionable at first. Like I'm always afraid she's going to miss her damn feet when she does that. But there's a kick out. They have that, actually where the chop fest happened. I have my notes backwards, so apologize for that. But we get into the figure 4 to Trish, and then it turns into that figure 8, and I'm thinking, man, this is just like earlier in the night. Look, when you use somebody else's move, hey, that's cool and everything, but when the person whose moves it is, who's doing it to you, is going to hurt so much more because they're the expert. I already said this speech earlier, and I'm saying it again because it makes sense, and I love that they're doing stuff like that because it makes it feel so much more than just doing a thing, doing a thing. It makes sense. Somebody tries to do a move to you and it doesn't hurt as much. Of course it hurts because it's your move, but then when the person, they use their own move against you, boom, you got them. All right, so Flair wins this, and Trish, she gets the ring, she gets to pose for everybody, and that's really cool. You know, she's in Toronto, for God's sakes, so I know that had to be special for her, and I don't know if we'll ever see Trish in the ring again. I don't know. I mean, I know that she can, and I know that she could. I don't know if that's something that she's wanting to do, or if it's just like, hey, you know, we're here in Canada, in Toronto. It's SummerSlam. Hey. And I feel like that's probably more the case of what it was. Now we go into Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is the WWE champion still, which is awesome. He comes down to the ring with the New Day, and I like the fact, and I respect the fact that Kofi comes out and he looks a little more serious. Of course, he's always going to be that fun-loving, entertaining guy. But when he's coming out to the ring for a championship match, and it's an important match, especially at SummerSlam, you got to look like, I'm here to do business. So he comes out, and then Randy Orton comes out, and I mean, freaking Snorefest. I don't understand Randy Orton these days. I used to be a big fan back in the day, but over the past, I don't know how many years, what, like 6 years more, he's just kind of been this guy where he's like, comes out and it's the music, and I just don't feel the intensity. I guess some people look at that and be like, oh, he's so badass, he's like James Bond or something. But I look at him, I'm just like, he just looks bored. He looks like, I'm freaking good, I'm Randy Orton. Oh, I'll surprise you sometimes with the RKO. I'm a really entertaining and very surprising guy, but only with RKOs. Everything else is very boring and everything's the same. I don't get it. He's got a lot of fans, kids love him, so hey, it is what he is. And why Kofi does this trust fall to the outside, I don't freaking know. I feel like Kofi Kingston is going to kill himself every time he does that. I wouldn't trust fall people on people that I trust. It just, I don't know. And off the top rope, you don't even know where you're going. I get it, you do some flips, you do like a 360 or whatever, you can't really see, but I'm talking about when you fall backwards, you can't see anything. Don't do it. I'm not doing it because I'd fall right off of this stool, and I don't want that, and I don't want you to see that because I don't want you calling 911 on me like freaking 24 hours after this incident, so let's not do that. But look, Kofi Kingston, he wins via countout. Look, I had to go pee. I came back and they said this match ended by count, and I was like, huh? That's what happened? But he's still the champion. And then they remind us on commentary that this is not over, trust me. And I said, oh no, why do you gotta do this more? I'm already bored of it. But that's what they're gonna do. So, hey, now we're going in to Bray Wyatt and your boy, oh yeah, coming out in all freaking white. He had a white jacket on. He had white tights on. It was Finn Balor. And I loved that. I was like, man, that looks nice. He came out there, and Bray Wyatt's entrance, man, it was cool. He had like a remix version of his old song with I guess a female singing on it. But it sounded really creepy, really ominous, and I liked it. It was a very dark entrance. I think they're probably gonna have to lighten up that entrance a little bit because it's almost too dark. And I get that they're trying to accentuate the face, but I think there's probably a better way to light it maybe to give it a better effect. Where you can see the face, or not the whole face, but you can see like the outlines. I think if you could get like the outline of his body kind of illuminated and just like parts of his mask and his eyes, that's all you need. I'm not talking about a spotlight on him or something, but that could work. Maybe you could have a little strobe flashlight like they do at the end of the matches. I don't know. If you got epilepsy, that whole entrance and ending would suck. But for anybody else, it would be pretty sweet. But they have a match, and I'm thinking, man, old Finn Balor doesn't have a chance. Some people were like, oh, well, he has to come out as the demon. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. This makes more sense. You have somebody that you're trying to put over as a big, devilish fiend, big, scary monster. Of course, you want the good guy to come out there all perfect, all white, looking all innocent, and just, you know, it makes more sense. Because if you got this demon and then you got Bray Wyatt, it takes away from Bray Wyatt. It doesn't put the infant, why can't I say this word? The infants, oh my God, I can't say it. Screw it. You know what I'm talking about. You know what word I'm saying. I don't know why I can't say it though. You ever have that? Or do I have brain damage? I don't know. Maybe I should look for professional help. But for now, I just got professional wrestling right here because the mandible claw is put on by Bray Wyatt. He puts it on Finn Balor, and yikes. Dude passes out. I thought they should have called it there because he was like out. But the ref counts the 1, 2, 3 and then checks on him. I'm like, well, I hope he didn't die right then. So Bray Wyatt, he wins. Lights out. They come back on with that strobe effect, and old Bray Wyatt, he's doing the sexy pose. He's like, is that a sexy pose? Oh yeah, you know it is. So we get into the main event. It is Brock Lesnar. He is the champion. He's taking on Seth freaking Rollins. Now Seth Rollins, I don't know how, because look, I was in Little Rock. I was in the crowd. I seen him get beat up. I seen him be beat up backstage, get thrown on that gurney, and on the metal, it looked brutal. I was like, oh my God, holy crap. And then the next night, gets beat up more. I don't know, he's like walking out like, or the next week, I guess, on Raw, he was walking out like, I thought it was a gag. I thought that they had like some skinny guy dressed up as Seth Rollins walking out there making fun of him. Like, oh, can't move. Like he was like that dude. He was like Squidward on SpongeBob where what was that episode? He was like, he's in a wheelchair and he is all taped up and they were going to go jellyfishing and Patrick's like, firmly grasp it. And he right through his hand. That's what it looked like. I thought it was a joke. That's what I'm saying. But it wasn't. Seth Rollins somehow looked pretty okay. He was taped up, but he comes out kind of normal. And I was like, okay. He recovered because he looked like he couldn't even freaking move before. He was like... It was weird. But that's what they did. So they started this match, and dude, Brock Lesnar goes for this German suplex, and I thought he was going to suplex him so hard that he was going to flip over, land on his face, but nah, he kept going, and this man lands on his feet. I was like, holy crap. That's the only kind of reversals you'll see in wrestling games. It's crazy. Tries to hit that curb stomp and no freaking F5. Dude, he's throwing Seth Rollins by the tape. He grabs him by the tape that is wrapped around him to protect his torso and his body, and he swings him. I was like, dang, you're gonna kill a man doing stuff like that. Brock is freaking mad. He gets a German suplex to the outside of the ring. Brock F5s Seth Rollins' poor body into the post on the outside, just throws him. I'm like, dude, you're gonna kill him? Did you see what you did to him last time? He's already had an ambulance. He's already been walking like an old man and everything. But Brock Lesnar, he don't care. Look, he just does not care. Brock clears out the announce table. He's ready to finish this thing. But hey, Seth Rollins, he fights back. And he ends up getting the 5-star frog splash right there on Brock. He hits him with that stomp. Look, they try to do that stomp. It gets reversed into an F5, but no, that gets reversed into a super kick, then a curb stomp, and boom. New champion, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins walks out of there as the new champion. I'm like, holy crap. But it makes sense. I guess Brock Lesnar, he's not going to be around, so they got it back on Seth Rollins. So I was kind of surprised. I didn't actually know it was going to happen that soon. But that's cool. Seth Rollins is the champion, so good luck to him. I hope he has good feuds ahead of him. I can't imagine that they're going to keep doing Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. I would personally rather see somebody else come around, so that'll be great. And you got Bray Wyatt. What is he going to be doing? I don't think he's going to be going after Seth Rollins, but maybe in a couple months. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. Bray Wyatt's got a nice new gimmick that seems to be really working. And they're giving it time. They're giving it space. They're giving it air to breathe. So I think that'd be good. But as far as what Seth Rollins is doing next, I'm going to be very anxious to see what happens. This was SummerSlam. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best SummerSlam I've ever seen in my whole life, that's for sure. But always a good time. I always look forward to SummerSlam. It was cool to see it in Toronto. This is one of the biggest pay-per-views that they have. To me, I get super excited about the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Boom, it's right there. Always a good time, and I will catch you guys next time.